Welcome to the Android push notification session in CodeRage 9. Hi, my name is Jeff Lefebvre. I am a senior developer at Nygaard. You can reach me at Pascal Coder on Twitter, or you can check out my Delphi tips feed on Twitter. If you wish to contact me by email, you can contact me at jeff@thedailydeveloper.com. And wonderful start bar at the bottom. Let's clear that out of there. Alright, so Android push notifications. What is it and how does it work? Push notifications give you the ability to keep your app audience engaged without them having to always open up your application, such as when inventory is low or when they have upcoming events. So how does it work? Well, you have three main services, or three main products, or three main servers, entities in this ecosystem. You have your server, you have GCM, and then you have Android device. Your Android device. How it works is your server receives an event from your application saying the inventory is low in the warehouse, this person made an order, or have an upcoming appointment. Then your server will call GCM, Google Cloud Messaging, with your API key and the list of device IDs that have been registered. I'll get into that later, as well as the message that you wish to send. For each message you wish to send, you have to create another call, but you can send to multiple devices with a single message, with a single call. Then all the different Android devices will receive that message that match the device ID that you are calling GCM with. This is 100% free. It is provided by Google as a free service, as a part of its Play Store. There is no third-party service other than Google, and it is 100% free of charge. So, how do we enable GCM for your project? You could do it in three main steps. The first step is enabling GCM services in your Google project. Then you would add a GCM receiver in your application. Then you would add a GCM push to your server. Let's start by enabling GCM services. Alright, so to begin, you need to go to console.developers.google.com. It will redirect you to /project, but you just need to remember this part, and you can bookmark this if you wish. Next, you will create a new project. So, an Android project is not the same thing as an Android store application. You need a project if you want to have any sort of backend. So, the first step should be to create a new project. So what we will do is we will call this CodeRage, and this is a name that cannot be changed at any time in the future. This is a project ID is just a random. You can use fully numbers, and I believe you were also given some numbers, but it has no bearing on anything. So that's why when you click refresh, it just gives you some random value. So we'll just click this a couple times. So savvy droplet sounds good. Remember, it is no bearing on anything. It's just an identifier for the backend code. Click create. Give it a moment. It's a little slow this evening, and it's done. Alright, so the actual project number is 1136065156222. That is a very important number. You need to remember that. That is one piece of the puzzle to activate push notifications to your Android device. So I'm just going to take that and store it. Project number. So there's two pieces. There's the project number, and then there's the API signature. So after the project is created, we will now enable the Google Cloud Messaging APIs. First, we need to enable the service, then create a public API for us to access that service. So first, we will go to the API section under APIs and Auth, and then we will scroll down to Google Cloud Messaging. For Android, here it is. We will turn that on. Now remember, this is a free service. There is no cost. Just to clarify, or just to make sure, yes, it is on. Next, we will go to Credentials, and then we will create a public API. We're going to create a server key. Now, if you know the servers that you'll be sending the requests from, preferably not the client, but you should have a central server that will act as the traffic manager to push these notifications from, such as a web host or a VPS or server in your network. You would enter that here. However, we can leave that blank for now because we're not going to bother with restricting that. However, I strongly suggest that you add restrictions so that people cannot take advantage of your API access. Alright, so our API key is this. This is the second piece to the puzzle. We will copy that. So this is the project ID. This is the API key. If you feel that your API has been compromised, you can easily click Regenerate Key, and then you'll have to publish another version of your application, and then push notifications will continue. But if you wanted to roll over to a new API, you can create a second key so that you can give your client some time to migrate to the new key as they upgrade their application. Next, we're going to add the GCM receiver to your Delphi project. Alright, so what we will do is we will create a new blank FireMonkey application, multi-device, set it to blank. So this is our Android application here. First off, we will add our requirements. What we need to do first is plug in your Android device. And so I have mine plugged in, and I have Mobizen used to... Oh, looks like it's not connecting correctly. I recently unplugged it, so should hook right up. There we go. Cool. So this is my Android device. It is a HTC One M8. So we plug our device in, then we have to do a quick compile. Select the HTC One or your Android device as the target or your emulator. Just do a quick compile here. Alright. Just to make sure that it works. Okay, so we're going to save our project. Actually, I did this in the wrong order. Back. Alright, so what we're going to do first is create our Android application. New multi-device application. We're going to create a blank application, and then we're going to save it as CodeRage. So this is the main form, so I'm going to call this form main, and then this is the project, so CodeRage. Okay. Alright, I'm just going to rename this form to be proper FRM main. There we go. Okay, so we're going to do a quick compile to target my HTC One, which is connected. And there it is. Then we will take a look at the folder, and we need to add the manifest file to the project. There we go. Okay, so we will then add the a project called GCM Receiver, and what this does is that it enables push notifications to your application. So we will go to a folder that I created previously called GCM Receiver, and this is available. There's a link on thedailydeveloper.com. You can check it out now. So we're going to add the GCM Receiver jar to the project, and that should be added as a library. There we go. And we will add, and then we will add the Google Play Services jar as a deployment reference. So you get this from the Android SDK. It is in the extra section. There it is. So you have to navigate to your personal folder. You just navigate to this /SDK /extras, and then you'll find the jar within that directory. All you have to do is go to Project Deployment, add a file, and then you just go to the folder, and now it's added as a reference. Alright, so next what we need to do is add some information to our manifest. I've done this beforehand, so I'm just going to copy and paste for the most part, but you can find this on thedailydeveloper.com. Alright, I believe this is everything we need to do here. And then another step, we have to go to Options, Project Options, go to Entitlement List, turn on Add Mob, and receive push notifications. Alright. So now that we've added our libraries, we will now reference the interface class from the jar to Pascal code. You can find this on thedailydeveloper.com. It's called GCM Receiver. So we need to add GCM notification and new GCM Receiver. Alright, there we go. Excellent. Alright, so we've added a reference. Now we are going to do a quick build just to make sure that it deploys correctly. Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right, we have our main form, but we don't have anything on here, so that's why it's blank. All right, so we're going to stop, and what we're going to do is we're going to create a data module that will act as the manager for your application to interface with the GCM receiver. So we will go new, other, data module. We will call this DM push. There we go. All right. So I've done this before, so I'm just going to bring in that code. So what we need to do is we need to have a create, and we need to have a destroy. So for the destroy, we will bring in this, and then for the create, we will bring in that. There we go. So GCM is of type GCM notification. It's up there. We're going to have a function called get device registration ID, which is just that. So it's asking, what is GCM notification? Well, it's pretty easy. Just reference GCM notification, and everything should work. All right, so what we need to do is reference our sender ID and our API ID from the previous step. There it is. So it was 113, then those numbers, then AIZAS, and that is our API ID or key. And the sender ID is your project ID. Keep that in mind. All right, so we should be able to just compile this. Excellent. So I'm going to try and push this to the device. And hopefully it will work. Actually, I'm going to cancel this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a label to the main form. I canceled it, that's why. I'm going to add a label to the main form. Actually, I'm going to make a t-edit. Align it to the top. There we go. And then what we will do is we'll just have a button here that we can push that will get the registration ID. Alright, so we will push this to our device. And then I press this, and then we get the device ID. So currently I have it set so that the GCM is performed on the startup of the application, but if you wanted to make your application more stable and you want to improve the startup performance of your application, I suggest moving that off to the login portion or some sort of thread that can perform that asynchronously so that your application can start up as quickly as possible. Keep in mind that you do not need the API key to receive push notifications. You only need it to send push notifications. For the purposes of this demo, we will include it, but I suggest that you have a different service that sends the push notifications. Finally, we're going to add a GCM push call to the server. Now, for the purposes of this demo, we are going to add it to the small Android project, but you can call it from a server, you can call it from any other method. This is just one way of calling GCM. Alright, so what we will do next is add some code to send that push notification. I've pulled some demo code that you can use. It is available at thedailydeveloper.com. And here it is. It's pretty straightforward. It's a single method. And here it is. It's called push message. And all it does is that it makes a call to Google's APIs, and it passes in your registration ID. Actually, this should be get registration ID. There we go. Get device registration ID, puts that message into the push notification, and it authenticates your API ID right here. So, as just a rule of thumb, not a rule of thumb, but just so you know, the sender ID or the project ID is needed to receive. The API key or the API ID is needed to send. All right. So we have that. We have this push message method here. Just going to clean it up just a bit. All right, and then we're going to add a button onto the main form. We'll add a t-edit, and then we'll have a t-button. And so we'll just go dm push dot push message, anything that is in edit to dot text. All right. So let us give this a shot. It's just compiling. We're in the home stretch. All right, and so here it is. So I'm just going to add some text here. Oh, so this happens. This is connection closed gracefully. We're all aware of how this works, so I'm just going to ignore this exception type. And it looks like it pushed already. Look at that. That's odd. Let's try it again. There we go. Test. There it is. I think it just lost connection to the debugger there. You can push it a bunch of times. You can hear it go nuts. Yeah, it's not liking me. But yeah, this is using no third-party services. This is straight having your application talk to Google. It is all free, and yeah, we got it going in under an hour. For additional resources, you can check out thedailydeveloper.com. The top post should be the additional information for this specific session. You can also check out developer.android.com/google/GCM for additional information on how to add additional device IDs. This session only covered setting to a single one, but you can look at the table and you can easily figure out how to send to multiple devices. And finally, you could check out the doc wiki embarcadero.com/radstudio/xe7. There is a great page on there on how to send push notifications. It is using third-party components. However, there's still lots of good information in there for you. My name is Jeff Lefebvre. This has been the Android push notification session in CodeRage 9. You can contact me at Pascal Coder in Twitter or jeff@thedailydeveloper.com.